Hi everyone, I'm Kaitlyn Pintarich from Berry Insurance. I'm here with Bob Simone, broker owner of Better Living Real Estate, and we are here today to share some tips with our viewers about the home buying process and a little bit more about what it looks like and what you should prepare for to become a home buyer. So Bob, we are leading into the holidays and a lot of people kind of settle in and hunker down for the winter, but spring will be upon us very quickly. So tell me a little bit about what it looks like to prepare to become a spring buyer.
Great. Well, thank you for having me today.
Thank you.
Looking at the spring, it really is right around the corner. The seasonal markets that we're looking at in real estate are a little bit different than the actual seasons that we all live in. The spring market for us in New England, and especially in the greater Boston area, starts just at the end of January and beginning of February.
Oh, wow.
So we have a lot of our home buyers now planning for the holidays and starting to look at their budgets and get pre-approved from a mortgage lender. And they're thinking, a few months down the road, it's the spring market. What we oftentimes find is that as we're starting our conversations with buyers now, in a very casual way, just talking about getting ready to become a buyer, we're starting to look at their goals of moving into their new home maybe in April or May.
Mm-hmm.
But because we know that the average home sale takes at least 45 days for a mortgage lender to go through a normal process, if you're a buyer and you're buying, let's say in February, and you're looking to close in March or April, you're clearly a spring buyer in the February market.
Right.
So we talk to them now about identifying the location that is the best suited location for them to purchase a residence. We look at their price and we start to work with them together, sometimes with their financial advisor, their accountant, and even their estate planning attorney, to make sure that we're looking at it not just from purchasing a home, but also part of their wealth and financial portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
We look at it from a tax planning standpoint. Right now, Congress is working on tax reform, and that's become a topic that our office is watching closely. We're consulting with our financial team of advisors, including financial planners, estate planning attorneys, and accountants who advise our agents so that we have better information to bring to our buyers. So understanding all of these financial dynamics gets our buyers prepped to become comfortable writing offers in the spring.
Right.
And I think good planning ahead of time and giving people time to absorb information and reduce that stress really makes the process better when it comes to buying in the spring market.
Good. Now, what kind of advice or feedback can you give our viewers about interest rates that are coming up?
Well, we are in a low interest rate climate still. Since the recovery from the recession, when the Federal Reserve influenced the mortgage markets and we had a lot of treasuries being purchased, we found that the rates have dropped and they've stayed low. So the Federal Reserve has continued to meet throughout the year. There has been some increase to the interest rates through the Fed, and some of that has trickled into the mortgage market, but not the way that you might think.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the rates are still historically low. We think that that's going to continue right into the spring, but we do see that 2018 should be a year where we can see some incremental increases in rates because the economy can absorb it.
Good. As far as getting ready to make the purchase, what kind of things would you tell buyers to make sure that they've prepped in advance before they start looking for that first home?
Well, look, the first thing you want to do is make sure you're buying a home in a community that suits your needs. So if you're doing family planning and education is important,
right,
we can help our buyers identify and compare one town to another for school systems, understanding if you're buying a property that's going to require your child to walk to school or get picked up by the bus. That's an important aspect of discussing just how your family's going to live in that community. Also looking at the type of educational opportunities being offered by the school system in that community, whether you have access to private education, how convenient that is as far as commute to and from maybe a private high school that a family is thinking about having their child attend. We also look at sport programs Athletics is really important to a lot of families as their kids are growing.
Right.
They may have a particular sport or two that they know their child's interested in playing. So what does that sport program look like, and is that the right community to get their family the type of environment they want? Looking at obviously the size and type of house. We have a keen knowledge of the different type of architectural styles, and we train our associates on understanding the differences between the various architectural styles of homes and how to assess whether one is going to suit a client's needs better than another. So having a lot of these conversations about the style and the type of home, the type of community, the commute, the educational aspect, and then whether or not they're buying in a community that still allows them to connect with their existing social sphere. So if they're moving out of Boston and moving into a suburban community and their friends are all in Boston, will that getting too far away from Boston create a disconnect, and will they actually be happy in that community? They may find that they can buy a bigger home, but that community never really feels like home. So having a lot of time to plan ahead and talk about what's important to our client allows us to build a strategic plan to accomplish their buying goals.
That's great. And what would you tell people that are looking to relocate into the Eastern Mass area?
Well, our price range in Eastern Massachusetts, Greater Boston, and Boston proper is oftentimes a bit of a surprise to people relocating in from other parts of the country. We have a very robust and high-priced housing market compared to a lot of areas of the country and even other parts of New England. So that's part of the counseling. We sit with them, we make sure that they're getting good mortgage advice and that the mortgage company they connect with is credible. We look to make sure that as they're looking to purchase a home, we don't want them to overspend.
Right.
So just as important as to find the right home, it's really important to find that home that fits their budget. The best scenario for us is when we can find a home that suits our clients' needs in the right community for them and is below what their maximum price is. That allows them more comfort, less stress, and more flexibility once they move in, so they have money left over to furnish the property, to maybe do a few renovations or additions, and really make it the type of home that they want to live in.
That's excellent. Any other tips or feedback that you'd like to give people that are looking to become home buyers or new home buyers come spring?
I think the key thing for buyers is to really look at the type of agent they're going to be working with. Not all real estate agents are trained, and not all of them are the same. Our industry has a lot of part-time real estate agents and a lot of new people that enter the business. And just because you have someone who might be a good friend or a sweet aunt of somebody that that has a real estate license doesn't mean they're really going to be the right professional for you. So just like you might interview a physician or interview an attorney for a major life event, buying real estate is a major life event. So you want to make sure you not only interview the agent, but you also understand the plan and the process that agent's going to deliver to you, and you ask them for a resume and take a look at their social feeds. Make sure you're getting someone with the right experience and the right company backing them, because you're going to get the resources of that real estate agent, and you should also be able to get the resources of their company. And by getting all of the right pieces in place, from hiring the right real estate agent to getting a good pre-approval from a reputable lender and good legal advice from a real estate attorney, you'll be well prepared to enter the real estate market, have a good experience, have a fun experience, and find the right property.
That's great. That's good advice. And from an insurance standpoint, if you are looking to become a buyer sometime in the spring or even in the future, be sure to reach out to your insurance agent so that they can give you recommendations on what pieces of information about your home you'll need to know. So when you get to the point of getting an offer and getting an accepted offer, you've got all the information ready to get your home insurance squared away, binder done, and your closing set.
Great advice. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, Bob, thank you so much for, again, giving us some tips on the spring buying market. If you are looking to purchase a home sometime in the spring, be sure to reach out to Bob at Better Living Real Estate or his team. You can find them online, on Facebook, anywhere else.
We're all throughout social media. You can find Better Living Real Estate through Google, and you can take a look at our website at betterlivingre.com.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.